Before we introduce Elva, I would like to introduce you all the education in campus, our Dean of Education, Ms. Constant. Ms. Constant, can you share a few words? Welcome.
Oh, okay. I am excited to be here. I was so privileged. We worked with Elva, and great, just awesome person. We are here and we're helping students. And, you know, we have some students like Elva who rocks. She, Santa Clara University thought she rocked to over 200,000 in scholarships. And we have students who we're helping get jobs. We're helping raise their grades. We're doing everything. It's exciting. And so we are here for a celebration. And we have been trying to get Elva to have a celebration with us for a while. And Zaharia and I keep having the party and she doesn't show up. But, you know, that's okay. That's okay. But she is someone, you're going to enjoy what she has to say. She's an amazing person. And we were very fortunate that we got to work with her. And like I said, we help everyone. And but here's Miss Elva or Miss T.
Okay, hi everyone. So I'll quickly introduce myself again. So my name is Elva He, and I recently graduated from a private arts high school known as San Francisco High School of the Arts. Throughout my high school, I was the student council president. I was a founder of the chapter of National Honor Society in my school. I became the historian of the student council shortly after being president. I've been the dance leader in my classical Chinese dance class for 4 years now. And I was also the president of my yearbook club in school. So that's sort of the gist of my high school. I graduated with a weighted GPA of 4.2, and I will be attending Santa Clara University this fall with a major in business management and a possible minor in international business. Yes, so I'm just going to get straight into this whole experience of mine. So right off the bat, I can say it was very, very stressful. Definitely after working with Education Encompassed, it was a lot better. So basically, I really recommend everybody or all students who are applying to colleges or even before applying to colleges to work with a counselor. It could be their school counselor. But honestly, for me, my high school is very small. So there weren't many students there. And the counselor, you would think that it would be easier for the counselor to work with you because it is a small student population. But unfortunately, my counselor, it's bad to say, but I did not think that she was credible. And to say the least, she was terrible. So she put a lot of unnecessary pressure on me, and she wouldn't inform me on actual important information that I needed to know about. So in my class, out of all the students, I was the only one who worked with Education Encompassed, a different consultants and experts apart from my school. So thankfully, because I was working with Miss Constance, she told me about FAFSA, she told me about CSS Profile and other scholarships and financial aid grants like Cal Grant. All of this, my classmates have never heard of that. And only until October or November, I said, oh yeah, I just finished my FAFSA application. They were all like, what? What's FAFSA? And then past CSS Profile, I talked about CSS Profile, that deadline. They're all like, what's that? I've never even heard of that. And of course, they weren't able to get all that information done before the deadline. And so I don't know how that played out for my peers, but yeah. So my counselor did not tell them about anything that they needed to know really. And my classmates, they didn't really do any research into it either. So I highly recommend to for all students to find someone that they think is credible to work with them, to help them throughout this experience, unless you as a student can do your own research very thoroughly and make sure that you can get down everything that you need to do and the deadlines for them as well. Yeah, and I want to say that going into this whole experience, I was very, very lost. I didn't know what I needed to do. I didn't know what schools I wanted to go to. I didn't know what major I was going to apply for. It was all sort of just a mess in my head, and I couldn't get anything straight. And when I was working with my school counselor, they were just throwing a bunch of schools at me that I didn't want to go to. They're like, no, you know what? You should go into this school because this school is ranked so high. And this is like, you can definitely get into this school. And it was all the way in the East Coast. And I didn't want to go to schools in East Coast. And just working with these people, it was like, wow, they don't actually care about what I want. They don't care about my needs at all. I've mentioned to them several times that I wanted to stay in the West Coast, preferably in California. And they were like, oh, well, this school in East Coast is really good. Or this one out of California is still really good. So, and as a student, for me, it's pretty hard for me to reject people. So I was like, you know what? Okay, sure. I'll just add it onto my college list for now and we'll see how it goes. And of course, my college list was like full of schools, like 13, 15 schools, and majority of them I didn't even want to go to. And at that point, because of the pressure that they put on me, they're like, okay, you need to start working on your college applications like now. It was like July, June, and they wanted me to work on these essays. And yeah, the thing that didn't play out well for me is that because I had a college list full of schools I didn't want to go to, and I started writing essays for them, it was such a waste of time, space, and just so wasteful. It was unnecessary. So working with Education Encompass afterwards, they helped me have a finalized college list. And, you know, of course, these schools were targeted, or like they were special, they're better for the major that I wanted to choose. And really quickly, before I get into that part, I want to say that, of course, I mentioned earlier that I was confused. I didn't know what major I wanted to apply for when I went to college. So originally, I was going to major in psychology. And this was also because I attended psychology camps in 10th grade summer. I took AP psychology the next year. And my college counselor was like, wow, it seems like you are very interested in psychology. You should major in psychology. And if it doesn't work out in the end, you can just switch your major. And I was like, is that how it works? And they're like, yeah, I mean, this is a good idea. It seems like you're truly interested in psychology too. And I was like, oh, okay, I guess I can consider it. And so the schools that I was looking for, they were specialized in like psychology. They're more popular for psychology or whatever. And when I finally talked to my mom about how this just wasn't working out for me and we needed to find someone else, and finally we found Education Encompassed. Originally I was like, you know what, I only need an essay reviewer. So I got an essay reviewer, and that is Zach over there. So yeah, he was my essay reviewer, and then gradually he read one of my essays about psychology, and then he talked to me about how from my writing, it wasn't even my writing, actually. My college counselor wrote part of my essay. So it was just terrible. But yeah, so when he read it, he was like, what is this? Like, you doesn't look like you're interested in psychology. This is bad. And so that was when we also found out that I had no plan. I had no path for this whole experience. So then we found Constance, and then she helped me, and we did some assessments to figure out what career path would best suit me and my personality type. And of course, that led to me finding what major I'd be studying in college. So that's how I found out, it's not psychology that I wanted to do. It's business management and possibly international business as well. So yeah, after the assessments and deep talks about this, I finally figured out what I wanted to do more or less. And then I finalized my college list, which would, of course, Santa Clara became my top because not only was the campus really pretty, but because they're really well known for their business school. So that's how that came to be. And what I really liked about Education Encompassed is that when I was writing my essays, I would show my mom my essays. I would show my brother my essays, and several people saw my essays. And the thing is, the people around me, they were telling me, you know what, this essay, I just don't get you. I don't see you from this essay. And working with Education Encompassed, my essay reviewers, my consultants, the experts, they were always super supportive and just constantly telling me, you know what, like, this is your essay. You should be the one that's satisfied and happy with your essay, not other people. And that's honestly one of my biggest takeaways from applying to colleges. It's that it's extremely difficult to satisfy everyone. You can show so many people your essay, but in the end, like, you can't take everyone's opinions and just, fix your essay according to everyone's opinions, because it's your essay. So that, for me, my biggest mistake with my essay was that, my mom would tell me, no, this is not you. I don't see you. This person would tell me, you should fix this. This person would say, you know what, this sounds better like this. And by the time I heard everyone's, comments about my essay, I fixed it. And my essay was like, who is this? I read it and it just didn't seem like me at all. And so it was very, very stressful in this sense. And that's why I would say that for people or students who are applying to colleges, if you're planning on letting anyone review your essay, of course, only work with one essay reviewer. And if you're not planning on working with an essay reviewer and you're just showing classmates or family members your essay, I'd say limit it to at like 3 to 5, honestly, not over, because everyone has their own opinions. And, once they tell you how they think of your essay, it might impact you in a bad way. So I think limit it to not more than 5, because yes, you still need some people to review your essay, because of course you're going to be biased to your own essay and think that whatever you write is good, probably. So at least have another person to check it, someone who you find credible and you trust with your essay, to view it and think and make changes to it if necessary. And yeah, just at the end of the essay, or at the end of this whole experience, by the time you submit your essay, I think it's very important for you to be comfortable with your own essay, not other people saying, you know what, it's finally good. And you're just like, is it? Like, I don't see it. It should be the other way around, honestly. If anything, you should be the one satisfied. So yeah, that's my biggest takeaway. And on top of just writing essays, teachers of mine have always told me that extracurricular activities are very important. Volunteer work is very important. GPA is very important. For me, thankfully, I feel like I didn't need to worry too much about my GPA or my extracurriculars, because I had clubs that I joined and I had many performances, thankfully, to dance. So I felt like I was pretty loaded in that sense. But I also think for students, it's also important to show that you actually did stuff in your high school years. This one thing that I kind of regret throughout my high school years is that during the summertime, I didn't really take advantage of those 2 to 3 months that I had. So I really regret not, signing up for summer camp programs or, summer school or whatever classes during summer that could have benefited me. So for instance, if I was interested in a subject, I was very interested in biology in ninth grade, and I really regret ninth grade summer not exploring that subject further, because if I did, I feel like I could either, I'll definitely learn more about that subject, but it can help me figure out, oh, after I learn more about this, am I truly still interested in biology? Do I want to major in this? Would I possibly, work in this field in the future? Or no, I drop it. Like, this is not what I was looking for. Like, I'm not interested into this anymore. So I feel like definitely exploring different subjects throughout summer is very helpful to help you figure out what type of major you want in the future. And that's why, like, because I didn't have that experience when I was actually applying to colleges, I was like, I don't know what major I want to apply for. There's so many, and I don't know any of them. So yeah, that was pretty difficult. So I think that using summertime wisely is very important. Even if you're not just signing up for summer classes or whatever, volunteering at shelters or doing volunteer work, working internships, these all very important, I think. So yeah, I think that was my experience. I don't know if I should mention anything else.
Hey, that's so awesome, Elva. Let's give Elva hearts. Okay. Yes. Thumbs up. Did everybody has hearts? All right. Okay. Cool. So wow. Okay, that's awesome. Anyone have questions? And maybe you can, because this is we keep a small group, so this is very exclusive for you. You're able to have a conversation with Elva, because she just fresh from the boats, right? She just fresh to the college. So you can ask her anything in your mind. I know we have Iris, we have David, your aunt. Hi, David. Long time no see. I like your haircut. Yes. Okay. No, I know we have some moms, right? Ching, the Uma, Nitya, Gary, hi, your aunt, right? And so you're welcome. Welcome to have a conversation with Elva. Yes, Miss Uma, go ahead.
Yes, Elva, congratulations. You are an amazing person. With what you sound, you are amazing. Good luck with your college. I'm sure you're going to rock even at your college. I had a quick question about, when did you join the program, Education Encompassed?
Thank you so much, first of all, for your congratulations. I think I joined towards the end of July, was it? I think so.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Last
July
year.
of
The rising
senior year?
Yeah, yes. Senior,
Awesome.
rising senior year.
Oh, cool. Okay, thanks. Thank you very much.
I have a question. So
You're welcome.
I was
Yes,
wondering, like,
Iris.
colleges usually look for like people who stand out, and I think like my only issue is I don't really know how to stand out in like high school. So I was like wondering like how I should do that.
Standing out. I think that extracurriculars are very important with that. Extracurriculars or volunteer work, of course, that plays a factor, but then again, many students might have the same extracurriculars. So I think you should think about, how should I say this? I feel like you should figure out what you are good at and do something about that. So for instance, an example that I can give is that I've been dancing for 7 years now. And not only did I dance, but I choreographed dances and I taught dance to younger kids. So I did more than just learning dance and performing on my own. And I think that's what would make me stand out from other dancers. Does that make sense? So like, yeah, I think I can only give an example for that. anybody else help me with that question?
Can
On.
I make a comment?
Go for it, Constant. Jump in.
I tried not to stop talk, but I just couldn't. I think what you need to be aware of that when you're applying to schools, what schools are looking for, it's not just about success. All right. Everyone has high GPAs, everyone does well, but what can you bring to the school that no one else can? All right. You may have a passion, environment, whatever. Okay. And if you have acted on it and created it, that passion is something not everyone may be able to bring to the school. Okay. And so when what grade are you in?
I'm a junior right now.
So you'll be a junior in the fall. So what I would do if I were you, I would observe. All right. Everyone's so busy on their phone, they don't ever just stop to observe and think and start to get to notice what catches your eye, what catches your attention, and what, everyone in high school wants to be the same, right? And then there are a lot of us who are outliers, okay? And we're in a group, and sometimes we eat at our own little table in the lunchroom, right? Because we think differently. The cool thing, if you're an outlier, is in college, that's what they want. They want someone who thinks differently. All right. And you may just need to have conversations. All right. I don't know if you have a group of friends or adult mentors or what that you can just have conversations with. All right. But the more you kind of explore where your interests are and then look for opportunities to explore them, the more you will stand out from the others. Zaharia, do you have anything to add?
The thing that sticks with me is that everyone is an expert in something. At some point, it doesn't matter. I mean, because at some point, no one else has lived your life, right? I mean, I could say my name is Iris, but one, people are going to look at me like I'm weird. And two, I haven't lived your life. I mean, I haven't lived the life of someone named Iris, right? And so because I get this question a lot with essays, because there's always an essay, what makes you stand out? And no one knows, because just we don't think about it. And we're taught not to brag or to think about how we're special, And so a lot of the times it's spent digging into those personal experiences that only you have had. Even if you think someone else has had that same experience, you have a different perspective of it because you went through it differently. I mean, two people go through the same experience, they'll have two very different recounting. They'll tell the story different. And so even if you're not sure how you stand out, you can look at, it's like what Con said, look at what you're passionate about, what you're interested in, and then sharing your own personal experience and perspective that is special. And so that will stand out if you convey it well.
The other thing is to be sure not to discount any big experiences. We had a student that, I don't know, it's freshman year or what, that would buy gum or something and take it to school and sell it. And then he would make tons of money off of this. And he never mentioned it. And it took a little bit to get that out of him. He didn't think it was important. All right. Well, kind of get that business, not overly legal, but getting a business going at that time, that's phenomenal. And so I think students are very quick to discount some of their experiences because they judge success so much by what others are saying. But you're going to be anything that you feel makes you your own person. That's what you need to explore.
Another example is we had a student who has had just a phenomenal background dancing, and they were like, oh yeah, there's a bunch of dancers at my school, so that's not special, even though they had been dancing for like 7 or 8 years and teaching classes, but they just presumed that it wasn't a big deal. And then they wrote a bunch of essays about dancing and got into Santa Clara University with scholarships, but they're like, oh no, no one cares.
Yeah, and I know that girl. Yeah, her last name is He. Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you so much. Anyone else where you want to make some comments? We want to hear from you too.
Hello, my name's David, and I guess I can break the ice. To answer really Iris's question, first of all, I'm an uprising senior, so I kind of already went through the struggle of high school, and really, I know that you had most of your high school experience was kind of ruined by COVID, and really you had to go through everything through Zoom. But in person, really, you don't really think about what makes you stand out. I guess my only advice to you is really just pursue something that you really love and really just take every opportunity that you're given, because I can kind of reflect back to my freshman year, and in person, there's so many clubs I could have joined, but I didn't because I was just too busy with other stuff. I was just kind of lazy, and now I kind of regret not doing that, but I kind of learned from that lesson, and I hope you can too, by really just pursuing what you want to do in the future and really just taking in every opportunity. And then for my one question to Ava, first of all, congratulations on getting admitted into Santa Clara. And my question is that since I'm an uprising senior, I have to do Common App and Common college essays soon. So do you have any advice on how I can kind of organize my thoughts on paper? Do you have any tips on how I can write better or really convey myself in my writing?
You. And so for me, when I started writing, I looked at all of the prompts that they had. And from there, I chose a prompt that I think I could answer. And I would just paste that prompt, wide, big font, highlighted into my Word document. And then from there, well, this is what I learned, but you should always have an outline. Always have an outline to start off your essay and sort of answer the prompt in several parts and definitely have an ending to it, but not only an ending, but why it matters part. And so after you have an outline, I think you can start writing your essay. And if you just don't know what to write, sometimes for me, I'll just start typing. I will just start typing and my mind might still be blank and I'll just write whatever. And then gradually, as I keep typing, I'll start making more sense of what I'm typing. So in the beginning, you might still not be clear on what you're trying to get at. And that's okay at least for me. I think you can just start writing because afterwards you have some thoughts within your Word document. So you can start working with that. Honestly, I think as for trying to write the best version of your essay, it's going to take several drafts, and you might have several different topics that you want to write about. So this one prompt that I was trying to answer, I think I started over 10 drafts, and each one had an introduction, and it was just you know what, scrap this, I hate this, and I'll start another one. So definitely you might go through something similar to that, but in the end, I'm sure you'll find a topic that you want to write about. And yeah, and if you are struggling with that also, I think it's good to start another document and just write about some things that you've done before. And let it be important or not important, just write it down. So for me, I wrote a lot of activities that I've done before and just stuff like that. And then I might add a little bit more details. And then after that, if I was still struggling with what I wanted to write about, I'll just keep reviewing that. And then gradually I'll probably choose one of those topics and start writing about it. So that's how I started writing essays.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Perfect. Right. Any last questions or comments? You can put it on the chat so we can read for you if you are shy.
Congratulations, Elva. I have a question. I think it's something that maybe even some adults struggle with. For those students who are participating in lots of activities and lots of work, can you share like how you set aside time to work with your coaches and, you know, what your time management tips that you might have for how to, you know, get the most out of your coaching experience?
In my senior year, I was signed up for, I think, 4 or 5 AP classes, and the additional class I had was an honors class. And on top of that, I would have dance. So I had a full day, and of course, a lot of work came with that. So after, and I also had extracurriculars activities at the end of the school day. So loaded. I would come home around 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. This is the general schedule that I had. I'd come home and then I would eat dinner. After dinner, I would start on my homework and try to get all of that done. And then any work that I had to do for extracurricular activities as well, I try to get that all out of the way. And then after that, I would save the remaining time just to think about what I needed to do else, which was honestly probably not the best, because for students, I know in senior year, of course, you want to prioritize college applications. But for me, I always had to get my schoolwork done. So it depends on person to person, but I just needed to get my schoolwork out of the way first before I could touch my college essays. So that would, like, I'd try to speed through any work that I had. And honestly, at that point, because I had so much on my palette, I didn't really care about, you know, the quality of the work, because it was my senior year, which is bad. But I mean, as long as I get it done and I can get a passing grade on it, then that's all I worried about. And then that'd be out of the way. And then after that, I would, you know, look at any corrections that I had from my essays and I'd work on that. And then I try to get that all done within that night. Like once I open the document, I'd want to get all of my thoughts down and then just wrap it up. Because I feel like when I start writing, for me, there's like a train going. I can't stop it. That train needs to finish. Go to its destination and then I can stop. So that was just how it worked for me. As for time management, I feel like definitely you'll probably have less time to do, like your activities. So like any free time stuff, you'd have less time for that. So I just come home and I do all my homework, and then after that it'd be college stuff. And then if I wanted to, remaining time, if I wasn't too tired, then I could do whatever I wanted to do. But you know, that's all you can do if you're trying to manage so much on your palette. And I mean, if you really think that you can't manage it, then I think it's best to drop some classes or some extracurricular activities, because is probably going to be very difficult to manage so much. Does that kind of answer your question?
Thanks for your input. Appreciated.
You're welcome.
I just want to chime in real quick. I would review Elva's essays at like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock my time, which is right around 6 o'clock hers. And then I would get drafts back at 1, 2, and 3 in the morning, which meant that she was working at 10, 11, and 12 at night to get it back. And she would shoot them back and I'd think, oh, nah, this is going to be trash. And I would be shocked every single time because they were just phenomenal. And so, like, good job on getting that train to the station. But it also speaks to the late nights and early mornings that you were putting in to make sure, I mean, at the end of the day, you did the work and it paid off.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Anyone else? Last. One more. No? Okay, because otherwise you're gonna keep your peace forever, right? So hey, can we give it out one more time? The heart to Elva. All right, yeah.
Congratulations.
Congratulations, the heart. Let's take a picture together. Let's take a picture. And Serena, yeah.
Your camera, that would be great.
The camera. Yes. Hi, Miss
Everyone,
Madre, good to see you. Hi, Vicky, good to see you. Thank you.
okay, I'm gonna count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, beautiful. So I'm gonna have a final remark. Elva, if there is one more things you will tell the student, what would you say to them? Like one things. Mhm.
I would say that it's a stressful experience, but don't let all that stress like break you down. Like just make the best out of this whole experience.
All right. Thank you so much. And I'm going to invite our CEO of the Education in Campus initiative too, and so the CEO of the Zaharia would like him for our final remark.
So when Elva first started working with us, she didn't know my role in the company. I started the company reviewing essays because that's my gig. And we got into the essays, and like she said, it was very clear that psychology was not her jam. And I said, you really need to get some support, even if it wasn't our company, just something better than what you were doing. And she did. She worked with Ms. Constance, who was phenomenal. We put in late nights. Constance and I both put in late nights alongside Elva, nights that I'm sure Elva was doing other things and better things. We were still working. With regard to her essays, I was very adamant that she stay true to her own voice. So much so that I made calls to people telling them to stop interfering. Or that if they kept interfering, then they could take care of all of it. Which, oh no. When it comes to our students, we are incredibly protective. We want nothing but success for them, whatever that success may be. And students, at the end of the day, are the ones who put in the work. And for those who don't want to work, they get those results. And for those who do want to work, or are at least willing to work, they get those results. I brag about Elva probably every other day. She is just awesome. And I remember confronting her and saying, are you going to pursue college, or are you going to work at a wastewater treatment plant? Because at one point she was putting in the effort of someone who would work at a wastewater treatment plant. And I have worked at those plants, and so I knew. But she has absolutely fulfilled her potential for now. I expect you to conquer the world. Once you've got your company, I want to partner with you. You owe me like a steak dinner, like a nice steak dinner with knife and fork, right? Like a white napkin, like cloth napkin, not a fake paper napkin, But she is a testament to what the program can be and should be for every student. And I am very thankful to hear everything she has said. We didn't pay her to say anything. And the irony, the fantastic thing is she has said everything that I've always believed about the company, about the service, about what we do, about what we believe students are capable of. And so if anything, I need to thank Elva because she is proof that our company is doing something good, and she's proof that it works. And so that's it. I got nothing else to say. Thank you. Thank you, thank you,
Oh.
thank you. Also, Elva, I'm gonna be in your town in like a week, and so you owe me dinner.
And I'm coming on September, so you owe me another dinner. Your mom said yes already. Anyway, but thank you so much, Zach and Mr. Zaharia and Ms. Constant, all your dedication and your hard work. And then definitely Elva is the star student, but I do see how you guys bring the best out of her. So on behalf of the awesome team and also Education in Campus, we want to give a certificate of appreciation to Elva. Can you guys all clap for her? Shout out! I want to hear you shouting. Yeah. Awesome! Bravo!
Bravo!
Yes, and thank you for sharing your valuable experience on how you came to Santa Clara University with an awesome team and also the Education in Campus. And then we appreciate you for your time and your wisdom. Without further ado, I would like to call off the meeting tonight. But thank you. Best wishes for you, Elva. And you always will be in our hearts.